If you could go back and you're like, you're 18 or 19, are you going to college or are you just getting right into sales?
They can't imagine stepping outside their comfort zone. And fear just shuts that type of brain down, which is one of the biggest things that I had to overcome myself.
I hear what you said a lot about college too, where it's like learning how to learn. I've had some people, because I always ask people's opinions on college, what they think about it, because I went for a couple years, dropped out. But the big takeaway that I get from people is like, no, I learned how to learn there. It's like they'll give you some bullshit to learn, and then you have to learn it. You don't really learn it in the class. You learn it while you're studying. If you're any good at it, it's because you learned it on your own.
Yeah.
What's your take on school? Did you go? Did you finish? Like,
yeah, I did. I kind of I didn't finish university. I've got like this an engineering degree with like the least number of years you possibly can.
Engineering.
You know, yeah, mechanical engineering. But yeah, I mean, like it was. I loved school until I was about 16. And then 16, like I remember doing like some advanced some advanced calculus in maths class, and you know I did really well in maths. But I remember doing some advanced calculus. I'm like, man, my life has failed if I have to use anything more complex than this in the real world. You know, it's like I'm not doing what I want, like, you know, what really what I really want to do. So, but yeah, I think for probably the first half of uni, I managed to just like kind of, you know, coast through and just like, oh, I heard that in lecture. All right, okay, boom, write it down once. All right, sweet. You know, maybe do a bit of revision before the exams. But I think something else that's really interesting there is like I learned the way that I learn best, which again is through systems, processes, formulas, you know, and everything there where it's like, okay, cool, X plus Y equals Z, and there's not really like it's like this closes if you execute it like this, this closes deals, you know, and then it's like you only really need that working formula once, and then like you can again that's a skill set that you can continue to create income from for forever. So, you know.
So do you think if you could go back and you're like you're 18 or 19, are you going to college or are you just getting right into sales?
I probably don't. I think the biggest thing from university for me was most certainly the experience and the friends that I made. You know, that's 100% the best part. The experiences that I had. You know, it was cool learning how to like dismantle and, you know, like build an internal combustion engine using computer-aided design. And my dissertation, this is half the reason that I didn't finish university, was modeling of computational fluid dynamics. It was modeling of vortex-induced vibration using computational fluid dynamics. And I was just like...
You couldn't do that?
No, I didn't want to do that.
Like, how are you successful now? You couldn't do that.
I know, right? Yeah, it was like realistically, when are you gonna fucking use that? Like, especially if you want to get into entrepreneurship and, you know, like do all that sort of stuff. And but it's crazy. Like some of my best friends growing up, like one of my best buddies growing up, like now like designs fucking for Aston Martin. You know, so he's like, so it's which is still pretty cool. But yeah, you know, it's like it's totally not like what like I saw the life of an engineer. I was just like, that is not me, you know. So
it's interesting though. Like I feel like it takes a certain type of brain to be an engineer though. Like I could never do some shit like that. Yeah. Like you throw me in an engineer class, I'd be like, dude, this what the hell? Like I couldn't like. But I feel like if you can bring that analytical engineer brain into sales, it brings a different perspective, because a lot of the sales guys, you see like the Belforts, the Cardones, like the Bradleys, guys like that, they're like, I was just the best. And I tried to figure out what worked for me and like dissect what I was doing and then project it onto other people, where it's like, look, dude, I got this engineer brain over here. I just put together a system. Like I built this up myself.
No. It's like for me, it was exactly the opposite, right? It's like I did not like there's like. It's hard to say you're the best at sales, right? Because I mean, you're competing with like literally fucking 100 million people. You know, like you're competing with Cardinode, you're competing with Belfort, you're competing with all of these different people. So it's like and sales is such a like industry wise, you can break down the data, but you know it's very subjective, you know. And so like, but the way that I got to where I'm at is like, it's not like you're saying with Cardone is like, I'm the best and then I dissected what I was doing. It's like, no, I fucking dissected what the best were doing and then I just modeled it, and modeled it. And like, again, to a level of I think like the biggest thing for me is like just getting to that fucking word for word precision of what does the perfect sales call look like for one offer, right? Like, what does that look like? And then getting like from a technician's, you know, kind of analytical perspective, like what does that really look like? And there are a lot of things from engineering that, you know, like a lot of mindset habits that I had to break. Like, you know, for instance, like this is why people really struggle selling to engineers, selling to accountants, selling to lawyers, selling to doctors. Well, yeah, doctors a little bit less, but you know, is because like you're speaking to someone who's in that like analytical framework, you know, and so like obviously like they can't imagine stepping outside of their comfort zone, and fear just shuts that type of brain down, which is one of the biggest things that I had to overcome myself. And so like when it comes to breaking down what was formulaic about my approach for actually like learning like top level of sales, when I coming from an engineer's perspective and having that formula is now exactly what allows me to be able to influence those exact type of prospects that a lot of other people have difficulty with, you know. And so it's a lot of fun, you know. It's a lot of fun being able to do that, because you can see exactly when, because you know the old mindset, and you can see exactly when they're veering off the path that leads towards closing. So